Well, hello, YouTube. Happy Mother's Day to all you moms out there. My name is Jared Fuller. Today is Sunday, May 12th, 2019. So glad you could join me for another installment of the Sunday video update. Joining me off camera this week is Dad.
Howdy.
Can they see you waving? Now they can. Oh, that was my phone. I got a text message. Dad says, Happy Mother's Day to all of you fine moms out there. I don't know where Amy is. Is she in the bedroom or bathroom? So today is Mother's Day. I have yet to call my mom. I sent her, I made a post on Facebook, and I tagged her in it. It was kind of a lengthy post, but nonetheless, it was a post in tribute to my mother. I got a squeaky voice today. It was a tribute to my mother and my grandmother, who I don't remember because she passed away when I was only 3 months old, but nonetheless, it was a post and a tribute to my mother. Today, I understand, is it's a happy-go-lucky, joyous day for most, while for many others, it's not the best day and it's painful. And so I try to, I take both sides, and I take all of that into consideration, and so it's another day, and here we are. Dad had taken Amy to Junction of Hope this morning for a Mother's Day breakfast, which I think I was still sleeping. Yeah, I was. But yeah, I guess it was a full house over there at Junction of Hope. Like I said, I'll probably call my mother at the end of this video and wish her a happy Mother's Day and go from there. But anyway, yeah, so this past week was kind of busy. I was in Midland yesterday at the Myers on Eastman Avenue. J.R. Kurtak and Brad Sugden from ABC 12, the weather guys, were at Meijer, and they were selling NOAA weather radios, and I just so happened to buy one. And this is my new NOAA weather radio. But I'm going to put this antenna down so that way I can get it in the picture. And they had them on sale yesterday. I think they knocked like $5 off. But they are very useful tools in the event of severe weather, severe thunderstorms, tornadoes, floods, blizzards. They are very useful. They are like alarm clocks, and these do have alarm clocks built into them. They're made by Midland. Yeah, I was in Midland yesterday, and the name of the weather radio is Midland, which confused a lot of people because they said, well, what's the deal with, we're in Midland, and you guys are wearing the Midland logo shirts for the NOAA weather radio made by Midland. Well, there's no corroboration tied there. I dropped something. Where did that go? Oh, my syringe. Now Amy's joining us off camera. But there was no corroboration with the name of the city and the name of the weather radio company, because Midland NOAA weather radio is actually based out of Kansas City, Missouri. And there's my phone again with another text message. I'm wishing my mom friends happy Mother's Day. I'm just going to drink my coffee.
Getting tongue-tied.
Yeah. But happy Mother's Day, Amy.
Thank you, Jared.
And so yeah.
I've heard from my daughter this morning.
Well, that's good.
I had to acknowledge first, but
Oh yeah, don't you just love that you have to make the first move all the time? I mean, it's Mother's Day. I mean, what kind of bogus shit is that you have to be the first one to make the first move?
yeah, I ain't even heard from him. He ain't even been on.
But the thing about Mother's Day, and I kind of pointed this out on Facebook, is that it's a good day for most people. For most days, for most people, it's not a good day. And so, I take both into consideration. And this is the first Mother's Day for a lot of people, like my cousins. It's the first Mother's Day without their mom, and so I think of them today and send my love to them. And I hope they get through this day I know it's not easy, but I hope they get through it okay. And speaking of cousins, I was at my cousin's house on Friday. I was up north on Friday, and I got to spend some time with the little ones, and it was a lot of fun. I haven't seen them in a while. They were sad because Jared had to go home. But, yeah, I had to go home. Yeah, Dad worked on it was a 250 Yamaha dirt bike with... Oh, it's a road bike. My bad. I said dirt bike. It's a road bike. In 20 minutes, yeah, they had it going. And, you know, it was fun to get out and get away for a while. And Dad was preoccupied with that, and
I had fun with the girls.
then I came up about an hour or so, maybe a little longer after that, because I had other business to tend to. And so...
Oh, those youngest ones, though, as soon as they saw you pull in, Jared, they're like...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, every time. Every time they see me pulling, they see my van pulling, they come bum rushing to my van. I think it's cute, you know. Jared's here, Jared's here.
The only thing I told them is don't run up to the van until it stops.
Right, until it's in park. At least, because if it's in park, it's not going to move.
Right.
Because I could take my foot off the gas any time, or the brake. I can't speak today. I'm just so, you know, tripping over my words today. If I take my foot off the brake when it's still in drive, I could back over them, or something tragic would happen.
Right.
I should just stop talking today. I don't know. I can't speak. I'm usually...
Put it this way, you're going to give everybody a laugh this week.
Oh, I give people a laugh anyway every week, regardless if I speak right or not. If I'm not tripping and stumbling over my words. But yeah, it was a kind of a busy week, and it was a good week. And I bought a T-shirt from a local warrior in Chesaning. I think she's battling leukemia. Just a little girl. I haven't met her. I was hoping to meet her, and maybe someday we can make those arrangements. There I go again. Arraignments. Yeah, we're not going to jail or prison. No arraignments here. But I'm hoping to make arrangements with her mother. Maybe we could meet up at Indians Cafe or somewhere. You know, I don't care where. It's just, you know, to meet up and say hello and get to meet the little one. And
my little guy over here just gave me kisses.
oh, she's talking about Scruffy, our dog.
Those are my kids.
Yeah. I don't have children, so come Father's Day, which is next month, June.
We can still tell you Happy Father's Day. You got all the animals.
I don't have actual human children of my own, but I have fur babies. I have cats and dogs, which I guess, I don't know. It's not the same thing as having kids. There's a lot of people who would say, well, Jared, they are your kid. Well, we take care of them. We look after them. But
like we would our kids.
It's not, you know, I wouldn't let my child outside to go pee.
Right.
I mean, we have a toilet. My children wouldn't be burying bones in the front yard.
Never know.
My kid wouldn't be catching a Frisbee with her teeth.
Well, no. Hey, you never know.
Well, if they did that, I'd have a serious problem with that. But, yeah, so it's kind of a somber day. It's, you know, not good for many people. And for most people, it's a happy-go-lucky day because they have their kids and vice versa, you know. And a lot of the moms don't have their kids, or a lot of the kids don't have their mothers. There's my cell phone again. But just know that if you are one of those people whose mom is no longer with us, I send my love and my support to you. I know Dad and Amy here, they lost their moms, their biological moms. And I know lots of bereaved mothers who don't have their children here with them. And so my heart goes out to you. And I know that today has to be a very difficult day in that regard. But I care. I understand that this is difficult. I mean, I don't have to live that reality like those people do. But I understand that this is something that it affects everybody. And it's one of the reasons why most people don't understand, Amy, when I try to explain this, that I don't like to put a lot of emphasis on Mother's Day, Father's Day. Because when you put a lot of emphasis on days like these, it makes the day so much fucking harder.
Yeah.
Like, this day is supposed to be sentimental for these specific reasons. And, you know, that's why I always say, oh, it's just another day, or another Hallmark greeting card holiday. When you put emphasis on days like this, when it's supposed to matter, that's what makes the days harder and more difficult to get through. Which is why I wasn't going to make that post on Facebook. I wasn't going to, you know, get into specifics and, you know, be pedantic about how Mom took care of us kids and what I remember as a child growing up through the years, how Mom always improvised with cooking meals and doing laundry and doing the things that mothers, housewives usually do. Not to sound sexist, by the way. But it's just, I didn't want to put too much emphasis on Mother's Day, the same way that I don't like to put a lot of emphasis on Father's Day. It's not that I don't love my dad. He knows I love him dearly. And, you know, there's just too much. When you put emphasis on days like this, it makes the days harder. So if I happen to say, oh, it's just another day,
Live one day at a time.
you know, and I know people don't like that idea that, well, Jared says it's just another day. Well, that's what it is.
Another day in life.
Because when you put emphasis on it, it's difficult. It makes the day that much more difficult. So I think I made a point there, and I'm just talking in circles now, but so how was your week?
My week?
Yeah.
My week was all right.
Yeah?
Got the grass cut again before it rained.
Before it rained, yeah. Amy, how about you?
Mine was pretty good.
Yeah.
Doctor's appointments like crazy, but
Mine was good. My week was okay.
It's all good.
You know, I bought a shirt from a local cancer warrior here in Chesaning, and I didn't get to meet her. I'm hoping I get to someday. Like I said, we'll have to make arrangements, not arraignments.
What about that new shirt you're getting, son?
What new shirt? Oh, yeah. I'm glad you mentioned that. So there's it was a hoodie on Facebook, and it said something, you know, about Wilms tumor, and I guess Dad and my mother and my stepdad Jim and Amy, I guess they're all pitching in to get this sweatshirt for me, this hoodie, and I was just joking. I made a comment on Facebook. I said, well, must have this. It was a joke. I didn't actually think you were going to go through with it, but they did. So thank you. I wasn't. It's going to be an early birthday present. I wasn't expecting it, but thank you nonetheless. In the summertime, I'm not going to wear it. It's going to be too hot to wear it. But yeah. So it's something Wilms tumor. I can't remember the phrasing verbatim, but I know it had something to do with Wilms tumor. And it's a blue color. It's not red. Red's my favorite color, although I'm wearing a blue shirt. I've been wearing blue shirts the past few weeks in my Sunday video updates. But red is actually my favorite color. But anyway, so I got that going on. This Wednesday, I'll be in Lansing. I have an appointment to see Dr. Scott. I did have some questions written down for Dr. Scott, but I lost the list. So now I have to rewrite the questions and make a new list. But I remember the questions that I wanted to ask, which, of course, you know, maybe I could find out how big the tumor was when the kidney was removed. How many, I think, is it milliliters or milligrams of chemo that I was taking, because it was liquid. It was intravenous chemotherapy, so it would have to be, I think milliliters or milligrams, the measurement. I don't know how that works. He would know because I'm not getting any input from these two. Although they've had IVs.
Yeah, we've had IVs.
But I'm not sure if it's milliliters or milligrams, the liquid weight of measure.
I think it's, yeah.
Milliliters. How many milliliters of each chemo did I have? Because, it was all intravenous chemo. On what day did the port come out? Did they, permanently remove the port? And, just questions like that. I'm sure Dr. Scott would have that information. And if not, well, I guess I'll never know. But those are some things I'm going to ask.
And I think they had to put you in a cage.
Yes, they did. Mom.
Kept climbing out of bed, so they had to put him in one of those beds with the top on it, so he wouldn't crawl up.
Well, Mom told me that they put me in a cage.
Yeah.
But they only took me out when it was time for me to get treatment.
Yeah, because you kept crawling out.
Well, Mom said they had me in quarantine.
Yeah, quarantine, but they had you in a cage bed so that you couldn't crawl out of it, too, because you were crawling out. You were wanting to crawl out all the time.
And
they had to, put you in a cage where you couldn't get out.
Yeah. Well, Mom said that they
Quarantined you for a while.
quarantined me, because of... radiation and chemo, that's very highly toxic stuff that they use, and it's very potent.
Right.
And in the Facebook post I had made for Mom early this morning,
I ain't even seen it today, Jared.
I had mentioned something about how Mom was very strict about having visitors when I got to come home. And I had chemo. It was 3 times a week. I'd have to go to Lansing. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays were chemo days. And Mom kept the house totally and completely disinfected. She had the long stick with the cotton balls on the end, the betadine swabs. And there was a time when the tube actually, or the area got infected, and Mom panicked. And she says, well, and she felt so bad, she was scared. And Mrs. Fuller, these kinds of things happen all the time. It's nothing to worry about. We got this. But Mom and Dad, they did a hell of a job keeping that area disinfected. And they were very strict about who they let come over.
And if you're having a little sniffle,
Even a cough or a sniffle or even just a speck of dirt under the fingernail, you're not coming in.
you wouldn't come in.
And you had to be strict. You had to.
Well, I wouldn't have been able to come in.
Although Uncle Willie,
Well, the thing about my Uncle Willie, God, I love and miss him. When I was in the hospital, when I was at Sparrow, he would come in there, and it would be after visiting hours, and the staff would say, "I'm sorry, Mr. Searles, but visiting hours are over." He says, "Your visiting hours are over. Mine are just beginning." And he would say, they'd say, "Mr. Searles, we're going to call security." He says, "Call the National Guard. I'm going to go talk to my nephew." And he did. And they didn't say another fucking word about it. He sat right in that room next to my bed, and he said, "Hey, nephew, this is your Uncle Willie." And he held my hand, and he talked to me. And even when we were, at home, when I was allowed to come home, and I still had the port.
What? Just because Mother's Day, I got to wait on your ass?
But anyway, when I got to come home, Uncle Willie wanted to come over. And my Uncle Willie was always dirty. Uncle Willie worked on engines on cars, and he used to, cut wood, firewood and everything, and he always had the smell of oil and gas from the chainsaws. And he was always dirty, and his clothes were filthy, raggedy, because he worked outside. And that's all he ever did. That was Uncle Willie. That was his trademark. And he wanted to come over and see me, and Mom says, "You take a shower, get into clean clothes, and then you can come over and see your nephew." "Come on, Ray." No. You're going to take a shower, you're going to get in clean clothes, then you can come and see your nephew. But that's that story, and Dad would probably remember that. And my Aunt Anna, when she would come over to see me, Mom said that she had taken a whole thing of rubbing alcohol and doused her arms and hands from shoulder down to the tips of her fingers, and she says, I'm sterile. I'm ready, I'm ready to go. I want to see my nephew. And then Mom would let her in.
Yep.
So, with all that being said, if you are friends with a parent whose child is battling cancer and you're trying to understand why they don't allow visitors, that's why. Because when a person, not just a child in particular, but when a person takes chemotherapy, their bodies become so susceptible to airborne illness, and chemo liquidates the immune system, so you become, your body becomes easily triggered by airborne illnesses, and just a little sniffle or a sneeze or a cough. I always will. I am very highly susceptible to airborne, like coughs and anything like that.
I am. The pain hurts too much.
Because, pain does hurt a lot, but it's that idea, And when they talk about ANCs, they're talking about neutrophils, which the neutrophils are in your blood, and they help to fight off disease. And ANC is absolute neutrophil count. So if their ANC numbers are low, that means that they're more susceptible to colds and flus and things like that.
I always thought it was the white cells overpowering the red cells.
That's why Jimmy gets sick so easy, because...
But if the counts are high, if the ANC number is high, then it's okay. Then their body will be able to fight off,
Oh, okay. I never knew
because
that.
they're highly contagious,
I always thought it was like your white cells taking over.
Well, yeah, it is. It is, but your blood has, it's called neutrophils, which when you get sick, like your body has receptors, and like when you get warm or cold chills or hot flashes, whatever, it's your body trying to fight off whatever's foreign, trying to get inside of your immune system.
Oh, okay.
And the neutrophils in your blood help to fight that off. And if you have next to nothing in ANCs, the absolute neutrophil count numbers are down to 0 or whatever. If they're really low, you're going to be more susceptible.
Oh, okay.
So
Thank you.
a little medical. I mean, having gone through that, I better fucking know what I'm talking about.
Right.
But if you're on Facebook, like I said, and if you are friends with a parent whose child is battling and you happen to see the ANC phrase come up, that's what that means. So, and I'm sure Mom and Dad, you had to understand all that stuff. Dr. Scott and Dr. Guerra and Dr. Kulkarni explained all that to you guys. So a little history lesson for me and a medical lesson for you.
Yeah.
Although I'm not an oncologist and I'm just
I know, there's words you use.
I'm a dilettante when it comes to things like that. I'm just the patient. I don't have expertise in that field, but I understand what it is.
There are sometimes I have to, okay, what does that mean?
Right. It's like I seen this
Human
post.
terms.
Yeah, in layman's terms, this is what this means. But I had seen a post from a person who's indirectly affected, and they call themselves an advocate, right? Well, this is what a chemoport is. Well, no shit, Sherlock. You're preaching to the fucking choir here. I know what a chemoport is.
Yeah.
Anybody who understands cancer in general, and they have to be given chemo intravenously, they know what a port is. Because you can take oral chemo, or you can have the intravenous chemo.
Even now today, Jared, you even go into the hospital. Like when I went in for my strain and all that on my lumbar, they actually put a port in now.
Yeah.
Instead of doing the IV
Right.
regular.
But it's like, all these people who are indirectly affected by childhood cancer, they think they know so much more than the person who actually went through it. It just never ceases to astound me. It's like, like when I argue, like I used to get into arguments with the indirectly affected advocates. Well, did you know that this? I bet you didn't know this. I bet you didn't. You know what? Just shut the fuck up. I know a lot of things about childhood cancer. This isn't a trivial pursuit where we're trying to outdo each other. Fucker, I lived through it. I know what childhood cancer is. There's nothing you can tell me that I probably don't already know. There's nothing you could tell my mom and dad that they don't already know. And while every situation is different, we just know. There's no way that you can't know. And I used to get into arguments with people, and there's still people, indirectly affected people, who get on Facebook and they say, well, you know what this means and what this means and this means. Wow, where did you get that information from? A Google search? Guess what? I am your information. People like me, we are your information. And that goes for any other person whose children has ever been affected by cancer in the pediatric sense. Because that's really all I know. I can't speak much about adult cancers, although cancer is cancer, but I know more about the pediatric side of things. Yeah, my Uncle Rick died from cancer back in March last month. No, 2 months ago. My bad. March. Last month was April.
I think you need to go back to bed, or you need more coffee. There's
something's going on. I can't. I've just. My brain's not firing on all cylinders today. I don't know what's going on. What's that?
Dad says it doesn't seem like it's been 2 months already.
Yep, 2 months ago yesterday, my Uncle Rick passed away at the age of 65.
Dad still has a hard time with it.
I still have a hard time with it. I'm still having a hard time with the fact that my mom is the last surviving child of all my grandma's kids.
Yeah. Well, like I told Dad, I said, I feel for Jared because I've only got one biological parent left, and I've only got one adopted parent left.
Yeah, and one biological one that treats you like shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. One biological parent who...
Just like that.
Well, I won't even get into that, but...
Facebook, what I was looking at, where they said you don't have to be biological to be a good father or mother or a parent. That's true. You don't have to be biological to be a good parent.
Well, the same can be said about family. You don't have to be blood related.
That's right.
I have family in New York. I have family in Louisiana. I have family in Pennsylvania. I have family in Texas. I have family all over the fucking place.
Gee, you go to Texas, I want to go with you.
I'm gonna go to Texas.
Another one I want to go to is Kentucky.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even call family.
I have family in Memphis, Tennessee. I have family in Ohio, Indiana, Wisconsin, everywhere. Everywhere I have family, and I'm not talking just blood relatives or, family like that. I'm talking friends that I consider more family than anything in the world. Family in North Carolina, family in West Virginia, everywhere. Oklahoma, you name it. Colorado. I have family in the pediatric oncology world, and I have family just in general, friends that I consider family. And, even in Florida, I have family in Florida. I could go on and on and on about all the family I have in all the different states. But that's how that goes. Family's not always blood. And I've been... Ooh, I shouldn't squint my eyes.
Put your spectacles on.
I've been here for a half an hour, and you know what I didn't do?
GuideStar.org.
GuideStar.org. A half hour into the video, and I did not remind everybody to visit GuideStar.org. It is a website that has a complete and comprehensive listing.
Normally I remind you.
Of all the 501c3 nonprofit organizations and LLCs approved and mandated by the federal government of the United States of America. Shame on you, you're lacking. Don't be fooled, don't be duped.
Hey, give me a break.
It is Mother's Day. Don't be fooled, don't be duped. Visit GuideStar. How could I have forgotten? Dad didn't even remind me, which I'm shocked as shit that Dad didn't remind me.
Normally it's me hollering from the kitchen.
Yeah. Visit GuideStar. There you go. There you have it.
You just made my day, Jared. Thank you.
So,
I was getting teary-eyed there for a minute.
yeah. Like I said, it's, it's just another day, and
I think why it's so hard on me is because, like you said, my mom's gone.
yeah. And my cousins who, my Aunt Rhonda passed away, and
That's what I wrote to her.
this is the first Mother's Day without their mom, and
She said thanks.
this is the first Mother's Day without their mom, and my heart goes out to them,
Yeah, they're probably having a hard
and they're having a rough day,
Probably
and
Rosie.
yeah, Rosie. I read some of Rosie's stuff on Facebook.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah, well,
very, very heartfelt and genuine, and she's got pictures of Aunt Rhonda
on there.
with Uncle Tim,
Oh, okay.
and it kind of brought tears to my eyes a little bit, and see that's why
That's why I always say,
I don't want to.
mother cherish her, because once she's gone, then you ain't got it.
Yeah, you've only got one. You only have one mother, one father, and
We won't go there.
Or one father, mother that
actually gives a shit, and
Exactly.
they raise you and teach you how to be the person you are today.
better person.
They provide, and they show love and caring and support. You are who you are today because of the people who raised you to be the people you are today.
And there are parents out there that are biological parents, but
And don't give a fuck about their children at all.
have a situation where
And shame on them.
they were taking away from the parents.
They were taken away. Yeah, taken away from the parents, which
And
happens a lot.
they're in foster care. Well, they'd rather acknowledge this mother that's the foster mother.
Because they had given them everything they wanted on a silver fucking platter.
And
And biological mom or dad wasn't good enough at the time because, well, they couldn't give me all this fancy shit. They couldn't spoil me. It's not about spoiling you. It's about making sure that you have a roof over your head, food in your stomach, clothes on your back, and a hand on your butt when you need it.
And a warm home.
And a hand on the butt when you need it.
Oh, wait. Go to jail for that now.
Well, Jared is a child abuser. See, he endorses spanking. You betcha. Because spanking is not, I mean, yeah, it's hitting, but it's not full on beating the shit out of you like a man. I had spankings when I was a kid. Dad knows this.
The only thing I do not agree is like Dad and I went through when we were younger, where the parents come out and say, okay, go out there and get the willow stick.
Yeah, get the willow
You
switch.
get that willow stick and it's this long.
Yeah.
You need to...
Yeah, you need the long one.
Like Grandpa used to do, and Grandma used to get after his ass.
You know, and I see this on Facebook a lot too, and I agree. We stopped spanking, and kids are growing up entitled. They don't know what it's like to get a spanking when they're doing something wrong, and I know lots of parents who still spank their kids.
Punish your children, because if they do something wrong, and then when they get older they do something wrong, well, you should have been harder on the kids. Well, how you going to do that when you can't spank them?
You can't punish them.
Or the child is going to school, and the child is telling the school that so-and-so beat them, to find out that their brother and them were horsing around and got the bruises.
They play rough.
Yeah.
Then the PS is on your ass.
Yeah,
Right.
then Child Protective Services shows up. Oh, your kid was sent to school with a bruise. Yeah, because they fucking play. They're kids. They play rough. You know, and
You got a couple relatives that have been through
yeah,
that
and it's
situation.
ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
And that's already went
And-
through this year.
And the thing is, like with spanking, I want to get back to that for a minute. People, they listen to, oh, see, Jared's all in favor of child abuse. No, I'm fucking not. Spanking is not child abuse.
No.
Um,
It's raising your children.
maybe in accordance with state law, by the guidelines that would be considered child abuse, But by the time they get older and you don't punish them, like you guys pointed out, oh, well, that falls back on the parents. Well, I had the option of punishing them, but you make it sound like it's something horrible.
You know what they tell you to do?
Stand in the corner and think about what you've done. No, they're not thinking about what they've done. They're thinking about how to plot the next time without getting caught.
Yeah, or sit in that chair until I tell you to get up.
Yeah.
And think about what you did.
I got turned over my mother's knee quite a bit as a child.
You're 2-3 years old.
And you know what? I turned out pretty okay.
Well,
pretty okay.
Let them sit there for 2 minutes. You can't do that.
Since you've been with Dad, you don't take no shit from nobody.
I don't take shit from anybody anymore.
I'm getting to be the same way. I got Jared rubbing off on me.
I say, fuck it. If you don't like me, I don't care.
I got Jared rubbing off on me, Wayne rubbing off on me, the Fullers are rubbing off on me.
I'm not losing sleep over those who don't like me. I don't give a fuck. I shouldn't. I should have never cared. But, yeah.
I don't care who likes me and who don't.
Well, Jared is in favor of child abuse. You know, this is going to go around because I said that I'm in favor of spanking. Well, spanking is not child abuse.
And you're not the only one that agrees with that, Jared. There's a whole lot of parents that agree with a good crack on the ass.
Everybody,
with the hand.
yeah. Everybody has their own methods of raising children. They don't prefer spanking? That's fine. You don't have to spank your kids. But what I'm saying is, I got spanked. I'm in favor of a swat on the butt. When they do something wrong, yeah.
But not no full force.
Not a handprint, not a handprint or a welt on the butt cheek.
Yeah, or a black and blue mark.
Or a bruise. Yeah. I don't support bruising or, you know.
Abusing a child with that force.
God, no. Never would I. But a swat on the butt? Yeah.
My kid, all 3 of my kids, well, one of my kids got it. I can't say all 3. I don't know about the other 2.
It's ridiculous. See, you know, I agree that children do need rights. Yeah. However, the problem is that we've given children too much rights or more rights, and when the parents try to correct their children, well, now the children have a lot of rights where the parents can't punish their kids without getting in trouble.
They can divorce their parents.
Yeah.
Which is, what the
I'm not saying children shouldn't have rights, but,
they should.
you know, if there's some piece of shit scumbag who's abusing their kids, they're burning them with cigarettes or doing heinous shit to their kids, abusing them. Yeah, they're talking about how they get into such specifics about how they abuse their children, and it makes my stomach turn, where they're punching and burning and kicking and doing all kinds of nasty, horrific shit to their kids. That is abuse, and you guys would agree. That is abuse, unless you're not paying attention. But that is abuse, and I don't condone that. A swat on the butt? Yeah. You betcha. But anyway.
I'm sorry, I'm over here spoiling the dogs on Moby.
Yeah. But anyway.
Now it's a federal offense or whatever if you spank.
It's against the law to spank your kids.
Yeah.
That's the trouble.
I don't know why.
When you done something wrong, when I was a kid, you got to spank it.
Actually, I know why. Because of the child abuse. Because we're at an all-time high for child abuse cases. But swatting your kid on the butt, that's not abuse. If you're just, you know, go sit down. Yeah, you just smack them once on the butt.
I think that hurts her heart, or breaks her heart more than
yeah.
Hurts her butt.
It hurts her feelings.
Mom hit me, or Daddy slapped me on the butt. Oh.
Yep. Perfect example. I remember when you spanked my butt quite a few times, I would bawl my eyes out. Not so much because it hurt.
It broke my heart. I had to do it.
It's like, Dad hit me. Daddy hit me.
Yeah.
You know? But I was being bad. Yeah. I deserved it.
But you straighten up, too.
When your kids are deserving of punishment, you know? And like I said, you have your own methods of punishing. Many parents prefer not to spank their kids. That's fine.
Just like with eating.
That's fine.
Kids don't want to eat their food. Well, guess what you're having for breakfast?
Yeah, I know that reality.
You don't eat supper tonight because you said you're not hungry? Well,
Yep.
guess what? You have that for breakfast.
I've never.
Unless someone sticks their finger in the food,
No.
then you're
Yeah.
like, oh, no, throw it away.
Yeah.
Eating after that ass, dumb bitch put her finger in it.
Yeah. And
That's a different story.
Brussels sprouts for breakfast, very unusual. But I know.
What do you
I
have for breakfast?
I have Brussels
Why?
sprouts for
Well,
breakfast.
I didn't eat my supper last night.
Yep.
My dad said I had to have breakfast. Okay?
But, you know, Mom shouldn't have never had a problem with me eating vegetables because we had the big garden when we lived on Chapin Road.
We had a lot of stuff in that garden.
We had everything. Mom used to put the pie tins up.
Muskmelon.
Mom would put up the pie tins in the garden to scare the rabbits away,
And the deer.
and the deer and all the intruders.
Yeah, we had stuff.
We grew everything. We grew everything.
I could handle some grapevines. I could handle some cantaloupe, watermelon, muskmelon.
I grew up eating a lot. Now my brother Jay, he does not like peas. And it's like, we ate peas growing up. We had peas for supper a lot when we lived on Chapin Road. We had all kinds of vegetables, mashed potatoes, which I love mashed potato. I love potatoes in general. But we had peas and carrots and sweet corn and Mom grew all kinds of stuff. You and Mom had grown everything. Cucumbers, pickles, you name it, we had it. Radishes. We had just all kinds of different things. But Jay suddenly got picky about I don't like peas.
That's when it was cheap to grow a garden. Now it costs you an arm and a leg to grow a garden.
Yeah.
You know, I don't mind peas as long as they're the sweet peas.
It's like,
But if
don't
they're
like pea
just
soup.
regular peas
like,
or pea soup,
Ugh.
no.
I don't like pea soup.
Every time I think of that, I think The Exorcist.
Yeah. Like Spanish rice. I cannot eat Spanish
I love
rice.
Spanish rice. But,
I can't eat it. I can eat fried rice.
Yeah.
I can't eat Spanish
I like
rice.
Spanish rice
I just,
and a pepper with stuffed pepper with
Yeah.
chicken and stuff in it. Oh, that's good.
lately, and
We got stuffed peppers up here at Frank.
you know, and we were just having this discussion last night.
And I was gonna get you a
We were just having this discussion last night before I went to bed. I'm craving something deli, like ham and cheese and lettuce and mustard and ketchup and mayonnaise, and like a
sub.
yeah, like a sub or like with
Or a
macaroni,
hoagie.
yeah, or like with the pasta salads and the,
Yeah.
I've been craving that since the baby shower last week.
Oh.
And it's like I couldn't get enough to eat. And lately, like last night, I couldn't get enough to eat. It's like I would snack on this, go back out to the kitchen, find something else, snack on that. That wasn't enough. Go back out, find something else.
Yep.
It was just all night long. I just kept going.
Me yesterday. Eventually, I was able to stop myself.
And it's like, I have got to go to bed. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's depression and, comfort food for me. I just,
The weather too.
I find,
A lot to do with the weather changing. 1 minute it's nice and warm, the next time it's cold.
yeah.
You're in the house, you're outside. You're in
But
the house, you're outside.
I have these cravings for things. Like I don't get enough to eat. And I know I have a fast metabolism because I'm tall and skinny, but I weigh over 180 pounds. It doesn't look like it. You would look at me and not suspect it, but I weigh over 180 pounds.
You need to get
And-
you up to a 200.
Yeah.
I think you could do it.
Yeah.
Dad was there at one time.
Because there was a point in time, like my face did kind of fill out a little bit where I put some weight on, because it used to be really thin.
Yeah, you can't really see
Yeah.
your cheekbones as much as you used
Right.
to be able to.
Right.
Those cheekbones stick out like your dad's.
Yeah. Dad has a kind of his cheekbones kind of sink in. But mine, I think I took after Mom a little bit because,
he had to feel to make sure that you did.
yeah, I think I kind of took after Mom a little bit with the you know, like the apples of your cheeks, you know.
So did Jay.
Yeah. Now my brother Wayne,
He takes after his
he took after his mom, Darlene. He took after her in a lot of ways.
and David and
Um,
Dale, too.
Yeah,
David and Dale.
yeah. Those are my brother Wayne's aunts and uncles
Dale was cool.
on his mom's side, which Dad didn't specify.
Dave is cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, Dave was.
he was a good guy.
Dave went back a long way.
So we talked quite a bit here today, this week.
Call from Jay Fuller.
My brother's calling right in the middle of a Sunday video update.
Rude.
How beautiful.
Hey, happy Mother's Day.
Yeah, where's your apron?
I call you.
Where's your bonnet? Get out to the kitchen and cook dinner.
So it's a woman.
Oh, it's probably his girlfriend
Yo.
Yeah, I took her to Hope over there.
using Jay's phone to call.
I don't care for
It's all right.
meat buffet, but
I don't know what I'm going to be doing for the rest of the day. I'm probably going to call Mom, give her a call, and wish her happy Mother's Day,
I
and
already did my mom.
tell
I
her.
gave her a card last week, and then today I called her.
oh, what's Jay doing?
Oh goodness,
I think you need to go back to bed, sir.
Okay.
I've been tripping over my words and drinking my coffee, but so yeah, that's kind of been the crux of my week. I've just been going here, going there. I have to be in Lansing on Wednesday at 3:00. And there's a friend that I'm going to be meeting that we've only spoken through Facebook and text message, and we're going to be meeting under the Skywalk, which takes you from the main Sparrow Hospital to the subspecialties clinic across the street. She wanted to meet me, and we had made arrangements to meet, and so she's looking forward to meeting me. I'm looking forward to meeting her because her husband is being treated at Sparrow. He has
That same day I had an appointment.
ulcerative colitis, I think is how you say it, or it's some weird name like that. I don't know if that's what it is, but it's I can't remember right off. But yeah, he's being treated at Sparrow for that, and we had made arrangements. But I have to be there early enough anyway because, you know, they tell you to arrive like 20 minutes ahead of the appointment time, but I'll probably be there around, I don't know, noon. Although my appointment's not until 3, so I'd probably have to, bide time a little bit. Like after I meet her, I might have to go somewhere and maybe, I don't know, get something to eat or do something. But yeah, so that's my plans this week. I'll be in Lansing on Wednesday. And then other than that, I really don't know. I just kind of ad-lib everything and play it all by ear.
I was actually shocked today. I got up, took my medicine, went to go eat breakfast with Dad, come back, lay down on the couch, went right back to sleep, and slept until noon today.
Yeah, it's
Not like me to sleep back.
the weather is just, it's been topsy-turvy. I don't know, one day it's nice and warm, then it's cold, like it rained, yesterday or the day before?
I think it was the day before.
It poured rain, and
It's been looking like it's going to.
it looks gloomy today, like it wants to rain,
It
and
did yesterday too.
it's supposed to get up to 49 tomorrow. 49 for a high. That's depressing.
Yeah.
This is springtime.
Especially when we've had like 50s.
60s, 70s,
Yeah.
49 tomorrow.
And then we get down to the cold.
Yeah.
It's the type of weather where you don't know, should I stay in? Should I go out? How
Yeah.
many are sick? How many aren't sick?
It's one of those things, the change of the seasons. It's cold and then warm and then cold and warm, and everybody's coming down sick.
And here it's supposed to be summer.
And I also probably should have pointed this out. After my appointment, I am hopefully going to be seeing a cancer warrior. Going to meet up with him. Going to be driving south to a town called Eaton Rapids and
Oh, okay.
gonna hang out with my little shotgun rider, my little buddy. He's 5 years old and he battles leukemia. He's also treated at Sparrow, but his mom and I had made arrangements after the appointment that if he's feeling well up to it, and if the weather's good, which I have to check the forecast, but if everything goes as planned, I'll be seeing him.
That's cool.
Probably at a park or some, the park in Eaton Rapids, which I've been there for his birthday party. So it's going to be a busy day on Wednesday, but I'm looking forward to it. I miss my friends, I miss my family, and I miss people.
Well, I was even telling Dad maybe there's something we could do.
Yeah.
If we got some funds.
Yeah. And hopefully the weather will be cooperative, because it sucks when the weather's not cooperative, when there's inclement weather, and it puts a damper on things you want to do. You want to go for a ride on the motorcycle, can't because it's raining.
I know I told Dad yesterday, I said, I wished it was nice.
Yeah.
He says, why? I says, because I'd be on the bike.
Yeah. It sucks sitting home and staring at walls a lot. That's why I go for the joyrides. I go for the joyrides because
I sit around the house and I get
it's just staring at the walls like,
and then you start feeling like no one actually cares.
yeah.
Or be bear, like a bear and hibernate.
I've been feeling like that myself lately, and a lot of it has to do because I'm on Facebook and I see everybody else and how they want to portray their fake lives, I should say. And it's not a cheap shot to my friends. I'm not really talking about my friends because I've read their posts and I know who they are. I have kind of an idea and a background and a track record of who they are. But I'm talking about people that I'm not friends with, that I see this kind of shit every day, where do you know why I'm so special? Do you want to know why I'm so wonderful and so whimsical and just so perfect, and I can portray my life? It's easy to portray a perfect life on Facebook.
Just like on TV.
Because
You got shows where
reality shows where they, but the thing about reality shows, they know that they have a camera stuck in their face, and they wouldn't act that way otherwise if the cameras weren't there. So we have to put on a good show for the ratings and for the sponsorship, and to show everybody that we live such a perfect and fake life. And Facebook is no different. Well, I'm a certified well, you know what? I don't have to be certified to tell you how full of shit you are, but
one show that really does that is that
well, that's a program. That's not a reality show. That's just a series.
Yeah, but they do that.
I'm talking reality shows like these. You see these all the time, like on TLC, and you these people who act like the Kardashians. Like the Kardashians. They act perfect and pristine and this, that, and the other because they have cameras in their face.
Yeah. Now I'm it's a channel called ID.
ID, yeah. We get that, don't we, out here? Or?
Oh yeah, Dad. I've got Dad liking it now.
ID is a good channel.
The ID has got a series.
Yeah. Right.
Like murders and stuff that have happened.
Like crime scene investigations and things like that. Yeah. Kind of like Murder, She Wrote kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm into stuff like that. I don't know why.
Murder, She Wrote. Angela Lansbury.
I watch Murder, She Wrote.
Jessica!
I do. I watch Murder, She Wrote. John Quincy.
You remember T.J. Hooker in the 80s? William Shatner? Dallas, yeah.
Junior.
Patrick Duffy from Step by Step was on Dallas.
I found out the way that my brother got his name, Joseph Roger,
Yeah.
is because he wanted to be called J.R. after the actor
Yeah.
Dallas.
Right. But
I always G.I. Joe.
But the thing about Facebook is that it is so easy to portray a false life, a false portrayal of your life, and only the high points. We don't know about the shit that you people go through. Something else about Facebook is you don't see the person's feelings and emotions on the other side of the screen. You never see that.
No.
You block someone, delete someone, you trash talk someone, you don't know how that affects them or hurts them. They can just as well put, well, they can write something on Facebook, well, it doesn't bother me and blah, blah, blah. Yes, it does. Deep down, yes, it does. It's a defense mechanism against pain and...
Or you got friends on there that don't even talk to you.
No, never.
But you grew up with these guys.
Here's my thing. I have friends that say, oh, we'll call you, which is why I had written a poem called Soon Isn't Good Enough. And the poem video is on my channel here. Because there are friends who say, oh, yeah, we'll talk soon. We'll do a Skype. We'll do a phone call, this, that, and the other. When? It's been months.
Years.
It's been years. When? The 32nd of Nevertober? That's when you're going to call me or text me or Skype with me?
Right.
You have my cell phone number. I text you. I guess you ignore my texts and you ignore my messages on Messenger. I don't know what's going on. But if you have no intentions of going through on things that you say you're going to do, then let's not make the plans to do it. I love my friends dearly. But, you know, if you have no real intention of doing something, don't make the plans to do it, because I get frustrated, especially when you make time for other people. But we've made plans prior, and there's always an excuse. So, yeah, that kind of ticks me off. How about you, Dad?
That's why I don't make plans.
No, I'm talking about when you make plans with your friends where they're supposed to call you, text you, Skype with you.
And they don't never get a hold of you until they need something.
No, not even that.
No.
Because I have made numerous attempts to reach out to my friends, and
Right.
we made plans months, years ago.
Yeah.
And that has never happened. But when it comes to their other friends, oh, they've got all the time in the world for their other friends, which I think is fucking bogus.
Yeah.
You know.
Totally, Jared.
But there's always an excuse. I'm not mad at my friends. I love my friends, but it's like, Jesus Christ, you know. Make time for me, too. You got time for all these other people. Call me. Text me. My life isn't, you know,
Right.
it's not perfect, but I still want to hear from you. You know. And that's how it is. But I think I've run out of things to talk about now. I think we pretty much covered everything this week. Or we've rehashed or reiterated things that we've already talked about prior and previously that, you know, but it's worth repeating, worth mentioning again. But I don't know what my plans are for today. I'm probably just going to call my mother and wish her a happy Mother's Day.
Jay texted her already. Morning.
Oh, he did?
Jay texted Mom, told her Happy Mother's Day.
Well, that's good.
That's nice.
Yeah. Because like Dad pointed out, you've only got one mother and one father.
Exactly.
Biologically. That's all you're going to have. And if you have beef with your parents, if you don't see eye to eye with your parents, now is the time to make things right, because...
Or in some case, when you were a small child, a baby, and you didn't really know your parents,
Right.
then it's different, then you have your adopted parents that
Right.
took care of you since you were a baby.
And we're not saying anything about adoptive parents either, because there are kids who really and truly live in situations that are fucking degradable.
Yeah.
Awful.
Yep.
Degrading.
They take their parents for what they got.
I'm going back to bed. Fuck it. I can't talk.
Jared.
They live in deplorable, degrading conditions. And adoption, when the parents adopt, that's their ticket to freedom.
Yep.
But just because, and I want to make sure that I make this specifically clear so everybody understands. Just because there are parents who have their children taken away, there are circumstances for everything. Just because parents have their children taken away, or if they give their kids up for adoption, it doesn't mean that those parents are necessarily bad parents. It does not mean that.
No.
If a parent gives up their child for adoption, if they feel that they're not financially or emotionally stable or mentally stable enough to care for their child,
Have a drug problem or drinking
or whatever the case may be, they will give their children to people who will take care of them the way that they should be taken care of. That does not make those parents bad parents
No, it doesn't.
at all.
No.
They have made a conscious decision or a conscious choice that okay, but wait, let me finish my point. It doesn't make those parents bad parents. They had made a healthy choice for their children so they could live better lives, because if there's something that the circumstances are such that
The things that they need in life.
things happen, you can't predict what the future is going to hold. You have kids thinking, okay, everything's going to be great. Things happen. Things come up. And sometimes when a parent gives a child up for adoption, they're doing something in favor of the child. They're not bad parents. If the state takes your kids away, the circumstances vary because, like I said, there are children who live in extremely horrible and deplorable conditions. Whether they live in filth or their parents are beating them or hurting them or abusing them in ways that are just, I mean, abuse is abuse. There's no good abuse. If they're abusing their children, then they deserve to be taken away. But there are also parents, again, like I said, they either have mental issues or they can't care for their kids, or they're not, sufficiently caring for their children, and the state takes the children away. It doesn't make those parents bad parents. If you're going to purposely abuse your kids, then yeah, you deserve to have them taken away.
Yeah. But for some reason they can't get
There's-
them,
Sorry, Jared.
take
Yeah.
care of
There-
their children properly, then yeah, that's what they do. They
There's
can't do it.
there's always a circumstance or a situation.
Say I love you and that's it.
So-
I always love you, but I can't do it.
You cannot put a blanket label over people who have their children taken away or they give their children up for adoption. You cannot just assume that they're bad people, because they're not.
Right.
And I'll say that loud and proud all day long. That, I mean, I don't have kids. I never had children, and I'm going to be 33 in July, and I'm not married. I have a girlfriend, but she lives in Wisconsin. She doesn't have kids. I don't have kids. But I could almost imagine that if my girlfriend and I had a baby, we wouldn't be perfect parents, but I could assure that child that we would do the absolute best we could to raise it and to support it, to take care of it. And it's kind of one of the reasons why I mean, maybe it's for medical reasons why I can't have children. But I kind of get subconscious about that. Like, man, what if I do have a kid? What if I have a baby and somehow I don't do something right? Like if I don't know how to feed it or change its diaper or...
That's where grandparents come in. That's
Yeah,
where
but there was
parents
a time when you didn't know.
come in. Yeah, I learned though.
But that's what I'm saying.
You learn
Like,
from
what
your
if...
mistakes, son.
What if I fuck up? Like what if
Learn from your mistakes.
if the baby's cutting teeth, and I don't, I mean, a frozen wash rag or a waffle,
Yeah.
that I know. But like, it's like, what if I fuck up? That's always a fear. It's in the back of my mind because
You learn from your mistakes. You learn
It's
from
like-
other mothers, other people that have children.
it's like
Explain to you.
when because when I was a kid, that's when I became an uncle. That's when Angel and Corey were born. I was like 9 and 10 years old, so I didn't really have a lot of experience in holding infants. And
Right. Like how you do when
you got to support the head, and have one hand on the lower extremity of the body, and the other hand to support the head. And
have her kids. Heidi was taught,
I know, but I'm saying that when I was a kid,
right?
I didn't have much experience holding babies, infants.
But you learn.
And I learned that, you have to support the head and, you have to hold it like this. Kind of like a submarine sandwich. But,
And some of the times that stuff oozes out of it.
yeah. Gross, but true.
Oozes out the diaper.
But there's always that fear, that, man, what if I screw this up? What if I can't provide for my baby? What if I can't, what if something comes up to where I can't provide for my child? That's always something that's in the back of my head. It's in the back of my mind, like, what if I give my baby too much? Or what if I don't understand, like when I feed it and I burp it and, I just keep patting it on the back like this, and I don't hear the burp and the, they puke. I mean, I've had a baby puke on me. My niece Ariana puked on me because I fed her and burped her, and I didn't hear her burp. But she initiated Uncle Jared. She puked all over my shirt. And I was sitting right here in this very spot when she did it.
At least you didn't get holding like this and pee in the face like you did.
I peed in somebody's coffee. Was it Aunt Kathy's coffee or somebody's or Aunt Flossie's or
my coffee cup?
It was your coffee cup. When I was a baby, I pissed in my dad's coffee. I was a baby.
Yeah, perfect stream.
Yeah.
I'm like, really?
Oh, like my
Good
son,
aim.
When I was going to give him a sponge bath, he made the pan of water that I had the soap in and everything. I'm like, okay, well, I guess
His aim was good.
take you off the area where I'm giving you a bath.
Like I
Go
said.
take and empty out the pan.
Like I said, his plumbing's working good.
Yeah, the plumbing works. But, yeah, it's just, it's a subconscious fear. Like, what if I fuck this up,
People learn from their mistakes, and as far as being a bad parent, if you give your children up, no. That shows you have a heart that you don't want nothing to happen to your children. You want them to have a better life that you could give them.
Right. And that's what I was trying to say,
Here, Barkley.
No, you hear the scruffy out there. Come on, Barky. Come on. Yeah, I know.
He's probably got the kitten pinned.
Yeah, we got a kitten out there.
On the
And,
floor, when he's got it pinned on their back, I kind of do this play.
yeah, they play. Unexpectedly, there's a kitten that we didn't want, but we can't let it starve. Yeah, I don't care about the TV. We can't let it starve.
No.
It's a kitten, I don't want to make it go without. I mean,
It's a baby. We got to feed him.
gotta feed the babies. Yeah. It's just like,
Yeah, did they find the thread today?
it's just like when people come over. Stop!
Come here, Barkley.
Sorry. Do something with him, because he's going to keep interrupting me when I'm trying to talk.
You wait. I'll let you out. Back up. Over here.
When people come over with their kids,
Back up.
and if they say they're hungry,
Back up.
we feed them.
Back up.
You know,
We don't let them go without. If they're hungry, we feed them.
we've got some of them where
Get in here, Barkley.
your great niece.
Get over here. I don't have nieces. Oh, I have nieces, but not nephews. Get over here.
Oh, your cousins. I'm sorry.
It's my dog. You better stop.
Dad's getting your tie out.
Stop, buddy. Stop. You're going to sit right here.
Anyway, as I was saying, we tell them, you know where the refrigerator is? Go get you something if you're hungry.
Right? We feed anybody. If their kids are hungry, we feed them.
Even the adults. when they
Stop,
come
Barkley.
around. If we're eating,
This dog of mine.
we always make sure there's enough for them too.
Right. You're going to wait until Dad comes in. And I didn't smack him. I hit his tail. Like, stop it. Now he's shaking because he wants out and he's getting all worked up. Now stop. Please. Stop. 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 Right now.
And he's still trying to get Scruffy in.
Yeah.
Because Scruffy is out there playing with a kitten.
Yeah. I swat your tail? Yeah, I did, didn't I?
Him,
You need to settle down.
he doesn't really mess with that kitten.
You need to settle down.
He babies it like a father would.
Yeah.
Where Scruffy, he wants to play.
You gonna let him out?
Sure.
Go, because you're giving me an ass ache. But, yeah. We talked a lot this week.
Yeah, I'm about ready to escape to my bedroom.
She's about ready to escape to her bedroom. For those of you who didn't hear in the back, she's ready to escape to her bedroom. Because she's going to get blitzed. She's going to bake. And to anybody who has an objection to weed, I think we had that discussion last week.
Yes, and we've actually found out that there are more people out there that are doing it.
Yeah.
And reasons why they do it.
They need to stop scrutinizing marijuana.
I agree.
You know, it helps people. I used to smoke it.
I wish they'd bring back some of the dispensaries that they've
Dad used to smoke it.
I can understand.
Marijuana.
Yeah, I used to.
I can understand the situation
That was in my
where,
younger days.
you know, they did testing on the older stuff that was
Right.
in the dispensaries and it hadn't.
And Dad used to smoke a lot of smoke back in the 70s.
Yeah, that was Flower Power.
I didn't
Well, that
start-
would be like 60s,
I
but
didn't start until I was 17.
Dad was telling me a story about how, is he still alive? Art Early, is he still alive?
No.
He's still around. Oh, he passed away. Well, Dad was telling me a story. Perhaps Dad would be better at telling the story about how he and my Uncle Rick got stopped one night. He was on duty, right? Art Early was on duty. He was a cop. And this was years ago. So Dad and Uncle Rick got pulled over. And, you know, they were drinking or whatever, getting high and partying. You know, it's the 70s. I don't know of anybody who didn't.
Yeah.
Of course, I wasn't around then, but anyway, they got pulled
Never
over.
die, but
You were around in the 70s.
Back in the days.
And maybe Dad would be better to explain this because I'll probably fuck it up and get some information
I don't
wrong.
remember
But
the 70s. I was too young.
you were born in 72. You were around in the 70s.
Just say we got caught and nothing would become of it.
Yeah.
That's all you gotta say.
Well, that's what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying because I don't want anybody else to know it.
It's an old story. Nobody's going to care. It's an old story. So Dad and Uncle Rick got pulled over one
And there's
night.
only certain people that probably see this, and they got to be friends with Jared on YouTube.
Well, we're not talking about him.
Benny's the one that sort of art, but
We're not talking about Benny. We're talking about
caught us
Art.
And he told us he better give us some of it.
Yeah. He says, well, you come on, Rick. I know you got a joint in there. No, I don't. He threw it under the seat, the bag or whatever, bag of weed, threw under the seat. We don't have weed in here. What are you talking about? Come on, Rick. All right. So he grabbed it, pulled out from under the seat, and says, well, you're going to roll one up for me, right? Okay. And the rest is history.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff Janice didn't even know about.
There were, you know,
That was back when me and Rick was first.
it's just, it's so stupid to me. And I just was explaining this to Amy. It is so stupid to me. And it's paralyzing, you know, it's numbingly just paralyzing to my brain how marijuana gets so much scrutiny.
Yeah.
And it helps people. It's like,
Honestly, they've laid off the alcohol.
would you rather
Abuse.
people pop pills and shoot up and than to
OD?
smoke weed? Yeah, because you can OD on hard shit. There,
Drunk. You can get drunk and get in a car wreck.
you can drown in liquor. You can
Yeah.
drown in your own puke.
Marijuana relaxes you.
Marijuana, it's an herbal drug. It's natural to the earth.
Yeah.
Why the fuck scrutinize it? It helps people.
Like I said last time, it was back when the cowboys and Indians were around, if not before
They were
that.
smoking peace pipes.
Yeah,
And-
they were.
And if people do smoke it for recreational reasons, just to get high, so what?
Big deal. That's their business.
They're not hurting anybody. They're not.
Now they're promoting the CBD oil.
Yeah, and canna butter is what it's called. Cannabis with the butter, canna butter.
Finding out now,
They
children
don't even
or people
promote
with
that anymore.
epilepsy
It's just a
smoke
CBD.
they found out that people that's got medical problems smoke it because it helps them with the pain and stuff.
Yeah, and it's like with cancer patients, they eat the edibles,
Yeah,
and it helps. It reduces the pain.
and it helps them a
The
lot.
thing I really
Seizures.
don't like about it
It helps with seizures.
is you have your kids out there that have spinal bifida,
Seizures.
seizures.
Epilepsy, fibromyalgia, muscular dystrophy,
Yes.
the debilitating stuff.
Who can benefit from this,
Yeah,
but they are under 21, so they're not going to allow that child to have what helps it.
But what
Yeah.
the parents, what they don't know, what the parents does is
and parents do what they have to do to make sure that their kids are healthy and comfortable and happy. And
And if the parent does moderation
yeah,
and doses the child the way it's supposed to be,
appropriately,
thank you.
yeah.
I see no issue with it.
I don't either. I know lots of, there's a young kid that I know, well, I don't know him, but I know of him. He's got cancer, and he eats the edibles. And it helps him.
Yeah.
The fact that people love to scrutinize marijuana for whatever the reason may be, scrutinize it, make it sound like it's so horrible, and it's such an awful thing to smoke pot. And to a point, I mean, kids smoking pot is wrong. Like little kids or young kids smoking, hitting a blunt. I don't support that or endorse that in any way because it's inhaling smoke
Right.
into the lungs, and it can damage the lungs.
if you're going to do it away from your children.
Yeah, do it away from your children. But my thing is that I know kids who eat the edibles, and it's not the same thing as smoking a joint
No.
or a blunt or whatever. But it helps.
Edibles, you still get the mind effect where the buzz,
Yeah,
but it's not as intense.
like the THC
Yeah.
isn't
Right.
like if you get it off the actual plant.
Right.
If you get the THC.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the butter that you can make is mainly out of like your leaves and
Right.
your
Talking about it
stems and
being good for people that has dementia.
yes.
Dementia. Yeah.
And
And they're also saying that now it is actually good for your pet, like your
Yeah,
dogs
for your
that have arthritis and that.
Yeah. Arthritis and
Yeah, they
and
have it out on the market where you can actually give it to
for
your dog.
like edibles.
Right. It's like my brother Wayne. He had a petition going. You guys remember this? He had a petition,
I signed it.
and I signed it too.
So did I.
Where a petition, for the state of Michigan and Lansing to legalize marijuana. And I think it should be, and it's a battleground between state and federal.
Yeah, it is. And that's what the issue is federal don't want it.
No,
And state's on board with it.
Yeah.
they're not getting their cut.
Yeah, it's all about the money. It's always about
You
the
can-
fucking
You
money.
can get pulled over by a state cop and get maybe less punishment
Yeah.
to where if a federal officer pulls you over,
Like if the FBI
you're
came
looking
and
at
yeah,
yeah, and I don't feel that's fair.
it's not fair. I don't smoke pot anymore. I haven't smoked weed in quite a long time. I used to smoke it, but for the short time that I did smoke it, I smoked an abundance of it.
You did that 1 year.
For New Year's Eve. I did, and I got fucked up because I can't smoke weed anymore. I have a horrible reaction to marijuana.
Tolerance for it.
It's like I can't breathe. It's like it takes my breath away,
I'm
and
sorry, I'll just never forget that day.
Um,
that New Year's, though.
I freaked out.
You were drinking.
I drank and I smoked, and I freaked out
No, actually, you did good.
until I collapsed on this floor because I couldn't breathe, and it took my breath away. And
Oh, I didn't realize that.
we were all fucked up. You probably wouldn't remember. I remember it because I collapsed right here on this floor, and I said, I can't breathe. Help me. And I couldn't breathe. I couldn't catch my breath. And and the reason for that, and Dad was here, he says, it's all right, son, just, it's going to be okay. And the reason why now I can't smoke pot is because you guys know that I smoked it before, and it was laced.
Yeah.
It was laced.
And
So now
you're scared that.
and now my body doesn't react to it the same way as it used to.
Yeah.
Because I used to be able to smoke and just,
Relax.
I was as light as a feather.
Smoke bongs.
And I smoked,
Bongs and like 8 of us guys around with hoses coming out.
yeah.
This bong was just tough on the floor though.
How tall was it, Dad? Show the people on the camera.
It's about,
Come over this way towards me a little more.
about that tall. Yeah, about that tall. Yeah, it was tall.
About your waist.
There's a friend of mine that I talk to every so often, and she lives in Baltimore, and her daughter's an actress. She's legal to have it. She has the card and everything where she's legal to have it. She gets, she smokes, and so, her Facebook posts, she's trying to bring normalcy into smoking marijuana. You know what? It helps people. And she even says the same thing. I'm not for allowing 9 and 10-year-old kids to smoke blunts and like joints and things like that because they're ingesting smoke into their lungs. It's not good for the lungs.
Edibles, yeah.
But for edibles and anything else, that's not
Smoke.
that doesn't involve like Western medicine, like what we're used to, like the OTC with the chemicals and the shit in it, which most people don't like. They go straight to the weed, which is fine, or the edibles, which is also fine. But she gets blitzed, she smokes her pot and she does her 420 and
Okay.
I do my 420.
have at it, light up.
Unless I forget.
But if you're not, as long as you're not smoking with kids, that's fine.
Right.
I do 360s.
Well, like me, if there's kids around, I go
Yeah.
elsewhere and have someone else keep an eye on.
I mean, if you're literally passing around a joint with a 7-year-old,
There's something wrong with you.
you're a fucking scum.
Yeah.
But
You do your 420s. I do my 360s every once in a while.
my 360s,
Round and circle.
whatever that means, I have no idea.
Is that a donut?
Round and round we go.
A donut with your vehicle.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
But yeah, for edibles for kids, yeah.
Oops,
If they
I'm
need it.
hanging out.
If they need it.
Yeah, it's just this idea that we scrutinize.
Because you're high and you want to see your kid get high. No.
It's
If your child have seizures or any kind of medical
It's like they-
illness that's going to help them benefit from it, yeah, give them a little piece.
it's like they
I'm sorry, everybody. Amy's out of here.
it's like these
Peace
people.
out.
It's like these people who put videos on Facebook, thinking it's funny that their 7-year-old kid is hitting a joint.
Yeah, that's dumb.
No.
And oh, look at his eyes. You're a fucking douchebag.
And I look at it this way too. Once that child is old enough to know what the heck is going on, don't do it around them.
Yeah. Now, if you're old enough, if you're at the age where you're smoking weed, and you do it with your parents, I'd rather you do it with your parents
17-year-old.
because you know where it's coming from.
Well,
Yeah, you know what it is.
You know what it is and where it's coming from.
my brother gets upset because his two 18-year-olds do it.
They're 18 years old.
They're not kids.
They're adults now. They're not children.
Yeah. But my brother, in the other aspect, drinks his alcohol,
Which will kill you. And others.
and he's upset because the kids are doing what they're doing. No.
I'd rather they smoke pot than drink, actually.
Yeah, I agree.
Like I like beer. I drink a cold beer once in a while. I like to get a buzz.
I drink my White Russians.
Because when I'm drunk, not only am I lovable, I'm a happy, lovable, happy-go-lucky drunk, but I'm also a hungry drunk. I love to fill my face when I drink beer.
I'm just a little happy some did.
Yeah, because you'll sit at the bar, have your beer and your puff bread sitting in front
Puff
of
bread
you.
or a Nacho Supreme.
Yep.
And I'll scarf that bad boy down to the crumb. But she's going to bake.
She's gonna go bake or so.
And Dad, was any plans today for you, or just kind of hanging around?
Out here and watch television, relax.
So, Amy, he's barking to get in. Amy, she's our.
Barking to get in.
Hey,
And
now,
Amy-
I'm not barking
Hey,
to get
Amy, she's barking to get in.
Yeah. Amy said her peace out already, and she's. No, Scruffy's barking to get in. That's what I meant to say, and it come out wrong.
Oh,
But I've been here for about an hour and a half already.
Okay, I got my buddy in here. He ran out.
But anywho,
Darn him.
I guess I'll wrap up the Sunday video update. And once again, reminding all of you, or wishing all of you anyway, not so much reminding because the reminder is not needed, but okay, we get the point, Scruff. Behave, boys. My dogs. Wishing all of you, what's that?
I said, kids, behave.
Wishing everybody a happy Mother's Day, and
Mother's Day.
and if by chance this is not a good day for you, I apologize, and
okay, buddy. Okay. Peace out, Pop.
saying happy Mother's Day.
Oh, happy Mother's Day to all you mothers.
And single dads who have to play double roles.
Yes.
That's like me.
Yeah. Your bonnet, I think, is in the closet, Dad.
Don't forget that apron.
And the apron. But anyway, happy Mother's Day. Much love to all of you. I'm going to be spinning out of here. I'm going to call my mother and wish her a happy Mother's Day as well. So, much love to all of you. Peace out. Take care. Spin it out.